So that's probably not the town hall that North Carolina Representative Chuck Edwards was hoping to have that day, as he just plows on with his prepared remarks about how much he values blah, 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 and blankety blank. But you have a lot of really angry people, and they're not George Soros hired commie, social justice, whatever. They're veterans, they're conservatives, they're people who are mad that they've been fired, or that programs they rely on are being shut down, or they feel like American values are being betrayed. And the list goes on, and the anger goes on, as you'll see.
Do you support the annexation of Canada and/or Greenland? And this is a yes or no question. I don't want you to wander off into the woods. I don't want to hear about your latest week in your office. And do you like the way he treats the premier or the president of Canada, calling him governor? Is that the way you do as a diplomat? Is that the way the United States should act to our closest neighbors?
Actually, I believe that the president is very supportive of Ukraine. I happen to believe very much that President Trump supports our Constitution.
So we just added that into the end there. But no, everybody's gonna get on Edwards or whatever, but they don't know that he was actually playing 99 Lies and a Truth. He'll get to the truth eventually, but he's just up there saying things to make it fun about Trump respecting people and caring whether Ukraine continues to exist as a people or society. So look, these town halls are not going well for the Republicans, and they're unlikely to anytime soon. But you're not doing yourself any favors when you say insane things that you definitely don't believe. And I love the people in the audience. That guy who was asking about Canada, I have no idea what his politics are. He could be a super old school conservative. I don't know. But I like the question, because he can acknowledge, hey, Canada's not actually our enemy. And it's insane that you're constantly antagonizing not only our oftentimes ally militarily, but one of our closest trading partners in the country, and calling him the governor and stuff like that. That should be beneath all of us, conservative, liberal, whatever. And yeah, do you support invading Panama, which apparently Trump is now talking to military advisors, and he wants them to draft plans for how we would conquer Panama and Canada and Greenland and Gaza and all of that. All this stuff that the supposedly pro-peace Donald Trump would have never done previously, but obviously that was a big sham. And so these have been going on and on. Brett, I keep expecting that at some point the Republicans are gonna stop having them. But until that point, I do like seeing that we're not crazy, that a lot of people have a problem with what they're seeing.
Well, I love that there are progressive and even liberal members of Congress who are going around the country saying yo, if your Republican representative has stopped having these meetings and these town halls, we'll have one for you wherever. We'll show up and we'll meet with you. I love that. That's the kind of stunt that actually works, to call out how ridiculous and fearful these guys are. And you could see it, it is a poorly kept secret in DC that every one of these fools, most of these fools, love the DC Beltway life and hate two things: raising money and going back and actually talking to their constituents. They hate it. And this is one of those things that you can see it. And he has no problem lying to his constituents that Donald Trump loves the Constitution. He wanted to suspend it so he could become a dictator and not have a peaceful transfer of power. Luckily, he's too much of an idiot to actually accomplish that. Sadly, he's learned a few things in 4 years and who to listen to and not to hide it. It's very frustrating. It's very annoying to watch all this stuff go down. And it's like when we talk about the colonization of Greenland, yes, I'm obviously for us capturing Greenland and having America be awesome, and I get to freely travel to all these awesome places. It's a bad idea. It feels like we're at the point, you ever have games on your phone where you're supposed to build a society, oh, I gotta expand I'm beset on all sides by zombies, and I've got to ally with other people I don't know. And And you play and you play and you play and you're like, I'm going to diligently build this up. But there's a point where you're like, screw it. I'm bored of this. Let's declare war on my allies and just like nuke everything. That's where Trump is right now. Like the part of Sim City where you're like, I don't know, maybe we'll just like unleash Godzilla, see what happens.
That is the fun part.
That is the fun part. Yeah. But it's the last part of the game. After that, the game is over.
Well, the game,
and worse, you're undoing a lot of hard work done by people who did care before you.
Yeah. The downside of that is that people's lives don't rely on the game continuing after that point. Yeah. But Donald Trump has that sociopathic thing where I don't think he's interested in what happens after he's gone. I mean, I don't think that on a fundamental level, he thinks that reality continues after he's gone. I think that he thinks he's immortal. But like he doesn't care. I mean, none of them do. None of them would treat the climate the way that they do if they truly cared about humanity writ large, or even just their own descendants. They don't care about the world that they're leaving for their kids and their kids' kids, which I find as a dad to be grotesque. And it would be one thing if it was just Donald Trump reality guy, but unfortunately we're stuck with him again as president. And unfortunately, he's got people like Chuck Edwards just willing to excuse anything he does. Again, you brought up one piece of evidence that he has no respect whatsoever for the Constitution. There will be more delivered to you today. Just tune into Donald Trump's speech or whatever, and I'm sure you'll find many of those. And so, yeah, I'm glad that people are continuing to go with these. We're gonna get to some of the other protests later on the show in the aftermath, but like we need people to be fired up. We need them to go to these Republican ones and shout at people, and also go to the Democrats. The Democrats that aren't doing anything, they need at least as much pressure. And honestly, the pressure is more likely to pay off because they could listen to the Republicans, almost never do. Go talk to Chuck Schumer if he does any of these sorts of meetings. Go talk to Fetterman. I don't think he's gonna necessarily change, but I'm perfectly satisfied if all that is accomplished by that is ruining Fetterman's day. I think that's a worthy and justified goal as well. And so we need to be pushing back against the Republicans. We need to be finding good Democratic candidates. We need to be encouraging Democrats to step up. There's a lot that people can and should do. I know that it's super easy to feel powerless in this time, but these sorts of videos remind you that there is something you can do at the very least to pass the time, to have a little bit of fun, and let people like Chuck Edwards know that we're not interested in any of this. Any final points, Brett?
No, I'm stupider than you.
Wait, did you work at a bar? Because that apparently is the big sign I found out from Fox News.
I've been to a lot. We went to Japan. A dude was like, we went back into our favorite bar, and the guy goes, "Same."
He remembered.
We hadn't been there for 4 months. This is the second time. Yeah, we've
in a foreign country
crossed the Rubicon on that multiple times. He's like, Jack and Coke, martini.
Wow. Wait.
And I'm like, yeah, that for me and for the lady.
You're the martini, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I figured, yeah. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.